Miriam, thank you so much for chatting with me here today. I'm super excited to get to know a little bit more about your experience being a career advisor with PSA. You've been a long-standing volunteer and someone who has just made such an impact. So thank you for chatting with me today.
Well, and thank you for having me in. I'm honored to do it.
I love that. Well, for those of you, for folks who don't know you, I'm wondering if you can introduce yourself and share a little bit about your professional background.
Sure. So I fell into pre-sales as a career. I was a music major undergraduate and ended up doing some systems type work and really just fell in love with the pre-sales function. I was an individual contributor for more than 20 years. I love the variety and the how ever-changing it is, and there's always something new to learn. And then I moved into pre-sales leadership. I've done that for about 10 years, and I've built up 3 different teams, one of more senior people, one of very new in career people, which kind of rolls into how I got involved with the pre-sales collective. And then now I'm just starting at a new place for a company that is growing really, really fast. And so this whole aspect of coaching, mentoring, and change management is something I embrace and I'm going to need a lot of where I am now.
I love that. And I love that you've had so many different types of experiences that you bring
Mhm.
so much to the table when folks ask that of you. I know I've gotten a lot of benefits from that. And I'm
Thanks.
curious, what inspired you to become a career advisor for PreSales Academy?
Yeah, this is a great question. So in my first leadership job, I was just making it up as I went. I was the second line leader, and I was the only second line leader in pre-sales at my company. And I hadn't done this before. And when I discovered the pre-sales collective, I felt like I had found an oasis in the desert. Honestly, I was just so thrilled that here were other people talking about all the different issues that I had, comp, motivating people, um, how to plan and execute a POC with best practices, thousands of demo skills, all these things. And here were all these conversations. And so it was a huge help to me. And I got inspired to help other people get that same benefit that I had gotten. At that point, I was pretty established in my career, and there were all these people trying to break into pre-sales. And it was a career that I loved and found so much satisfaction in. And so I wanted to help other people kind of go into the give back phase of my career and help other people have that same success.
I love that. And I love that that's such a universal thing for folks in pre-sales. You go to other other professions and people are not quite so willing to like want to give back
Yeah.
and to build in that community. And that's something that I think is so um I suppose it's refreshing that we're all kind of that mind that we want to help each other. And thank you
Oh,
for being of that mind.
yeah. And I mean, the Pre-Sales Collective is such a great place because it's people from all over, all different sorts of companies, different sizes, different industries, different domains, and yet we can all learn from each other. And that's a wonderful thing.
100%. With that in mind, I know as I mentioned, you've been a career advisor for many years, for most of
I think
PSA's
about
3 years.
10 cohorts I've been with.
Maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
So in all that time, have there been any memorable moments, success stories that stand out from students that you've worked with?
Yeah. Well, each person is someone special. And so the thing that stands out for me is um, the expression on their face and the thrill that they feel when they land that first job. It's just priceless. And so I wouldn't say there's one that stands out over the others. All of them, every time, that's my favorite moment. And now some of the people that I've coached in the really early cohorts, they're getting promoted now. And that is also extremely rewarding to see them really take to the career and do well in advance. So,
I love that. That's also some of my favorite moments as well as seeing them succeed. And it's not just that once, it's over time.
that's
I love that. Nope. I'm curious also, What do you think are the most important skills or mindsets that, students need to succeed when they're thinking about getting into pre-sales?
I think having the mindset of being a lifelong learner, there's always something new to learn in pre-sales. And so to not be afraid of the fact that it's something new, you're on a lifelong learning path anyway. And so I would say embrace that. Apply what you know from your other careers, right? In other careers, people learn to work with people, they learn to explain things to others, they learn to motivate and educate others. And so those are all things that apply in pre-sales. And so I don't feel like you have to throw away the baby with the bathwater. If you're swapping careers, you can take the skills that you've learned and apply it in a new way.
100%. And sometimes that's even an advantage. If you've
Yeah,
done the
I agree.
role that you're now going to be selling to,
Yeah.
that's such a valuable skill set, and something that honestly many of your peers are not going to be able to have.
Some of my very best hires have been people who had previously done the job that we are now selling to. That's very common.
Love that. Love that. And
Mhm.
I guess, when you think about volunteering as a whole, for PSA, what's been the most rewarding part of being a career advisor? Why do you come back so often, Miriam?
Well, I just really love helping other people uh, be happier and achieve their full potential and do something that they didn't necessarily believe they can do, right? Like a lot of that is just having the right support and the right people who believe in you. And so I have that kind of mindset that you can learn something from everyone and each person can be better and better. And so to the extent that I can help them with that, that's why I keep coming back. And the other main reason that I keep coming back is regardless of position, it's networking. The more people you know, the better. And so the networking that you get through the pre-sales collective with the students, as well as the other facilitators and coaches and the staff at PSC is amazing. So I keep coming back for that. And in fact, that helped me get my most recent job, and I'm eternally grateful.
I mean, it's an amazing story, and the thing is, I am so happy that you are back in pre-sales. You had a short stint outside of it, but I was like, I
Yeah,
have to find a way to get you back,
yeah,
in the field, working with other pre-sales folks.
yeah.
Love that.
It's where
Uh,
I belong. It's good.
I'm also curious when you think about, all the cohorts that you've volunteered for, have you learned anything from the students you've advised? Or has it like impacted your perspective on pre-sales in any way?
Yeah. Oh, I always learn from everyone. So there's a saying, who is wise? He who learns from everyone. So I try to internalize that. But specifically, I think that I've learned the importance of thinking outside the box, right? People come in with very different ideas when they come from other areas. And so they have new way of thinking about a problem. And so being open to trying new things has changed the way I do pre-sales myself and lead teams. And so I'm very grateful for that from the students at the collective.
Oh, that's such a great perspective, and I feel like it's so true. Like the most intelligent and kind and humble and just overall like best pre-sales folks that I know, the thing that they say is like whenever say, "Oh, you do such a great job, you know so
Yeah.
much," and they're like, "Yeah, but they always find something to learn from somebody, whether they've been in the role for, 20 years, 10 years, or a day."
There's always something to learn from someone else. Always.
100%, 100%. Um, I'm curious, also, how have you approached mentorship and career guidance? Or are there any specific strategies or advice that you continuously offer to students?
Mhm. Uh, I would say the number one, believe in yourself. I think a lot of students come into pre-sales academy very uncertain. They're trying something new and they need just encouragement and the to truly internalize that that they can do it. And so I try to point out the things they're doing well and the things they can capitalize on, and to just really be secure and believe in themselves. And then from a specific tactical operational thing, I try to teach them that less is more. Say what you need to say and move on. And I try to teach them tell, show, tell, right? Because that
All
is, you'll remember.
all wonderful pieces of advice. I love that, Miriam. And I guess like kind of beyond that, when they have the skills, is there like how do you support students in overcoming the challenges that they might face when they are in that career transition phase, like getting into pre-sales?
Mhm. It can be tough, right? It's hard to get the job, and then it's hard to feel like if you're doing the right thing when you're in there. I just encourage them not to give up and to persevere, try different things. If one thing doesn't work, try something else, and find a mentor along the way, right? If they stay with me or they glom onto someone else as they start at a new place, uh, everyone needs positive reinforcement, and a mentor is a great person to get that from, as well as they can coach you on what things work and what things maybe to leave behind. So I would, I even now, I still look for mentors in my life. So something to keep doing always.
I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like at least for me, I always have to have like the three-pronged person. I have to have three mentors. It doesn't necessarily mean that mentors can come from many different places, but you've always got to have those multiple perspectives and someone who can you can ask questions of and is going to give you the real answer too.
Yeah. Well, and just help you think through things. I mean, you do this in your personal life too. You have somebody that you go to just be an ear and help you organize your thoughts.
I think it's fabulous. I appreciate you sharing that, Miriam. But
Mhm.
one last question for you, and that
Ah,
is, someone who's been an amazing mentor to students and also other folks in Pre-Sales Collective. What advice would you give to someone who is in the stage of their maybe career where they want to mentor others?
Well, I first of all would say what a great idea that is, and that they should definitely make the time to do it. It's not always whether you have the time, it's whether you make the time. And I would say to, think about the things that are inspiring to you and can help communicate that to others. But the main thing is um, take a look at each person and just help them reach their best potential, right? Like people come in at very different levels. Some people are fairly skilled already, some people are not, but you can assess that. And then what we can do for them is help them get to the next spot. And so just working with each person at their level to do their very best work of their career. And it's so rewarding because you see them just blossom. They're learning this and they get excited about it, and they blossom, and it's very rewarding.
I love that, Miriam. That's such great advice. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for spending some time answering some questions. I mean, and thank you so much for being such a large part of Pre-Sales Academy. I just want to say happy birthday, Pre-Sales Academy. The 3 years old.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's also been such a joy to see how many folks of our students have learned and grown, have wonderful, successful careers. And the changes within career advisors as yourself, you've gone through a few different iterations, and I've loved seeing like where you're at now versus where I first saw, you were
Right.
when you first started volunteering. And I just want to thank you so much. Pre-Sales Academy
Oh,
would not be the same without you.
and likewise, I want to thank the Pre-Sales Academy because it's really helped me come into my own in this profession. And I've met so many wonderful people. And it's a great happy birthday for you. And my birthday was yesterday, so it was a happy birthday for me too. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's just, I wouldn't be the same pre-sales leader without the networking and what I've learned from both receiving mentorship and giving mentorship through the academy. So kudos to the academy and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.